and F being the worst, and S obviously being the best. They are color coordinated in case you couldn't tell. So we have every single match on here. There are a total of 14 matches, 7 on each night. We're going to be going through each one in minimal detail if it's a minor match, and then major detail if it's something like a main event or a world title match. Speaking of world title matches, we're starting with the first world title match of Mania Night 2, Drew McIntyre versus Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think this match worked really well as giving Drew his Mania moment, and it also put Seth over. He kicked out of 1, 2, 3, 4 Claymores and a Future Shock DDT on the outside, I believe. So putting Seth over strong, he did succumb to a 5th one, and that was the end of the match. Drew won the world title. However, overall, a very solid match, giving Drew his moment. That would be going in A. Then that moment got immediately taken away. So Drew was kind of mocking CM Punk. He was standing on the table celebrating. Punk pulls him down, beats up McIntyre a little bit, and then Damian Priest comes running out. I'm cashing in. Cashes in his Money in the Bank contract and is your new World Heavyweight Champion. This match was 7 seconds long, so I can't really talk about it that much. But as a moment, worked great. It was just a south of heaven. Then the win for Damian. I'm going to be putting this in A as well. Keep them associated. Next up, we had the women's 6-woman tag team match featuring Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi taking on Damage Control. This was a pretty solid match, which only functioned as, let's make Jade look good. And that is exactly what it did. A very solid match in a very solid Mania. Much higher than that, but just saying. Middle of the row, nothing that notable about it, but still, baller. After that, we are going to be looking at the Pride versus the Final Testament in a 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight with Bubba Ray Dudley as special guest ref, with Snoop Doggy gonna get on the flow, whatever, as the guest commentator. Very fun, a very exciting match for something I had low expectations for going in. I was just like, oh, it's a nice little match. Pride got a win. B. And then there is debatable match of the night, plural, Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And this match is a little divisive because a lot of people know, oh my gosh, the wrestling's so good, it's very hard, and, we didn't really know who was going to win. I think as the match worked onward, I think we all kind of realized, oh, Sami's winning because of how it was being built. However, and that's the argument my English teacher made, because he said, he thought that was the worst match of the night. And I was like, whoa, pal, wait a minute. I didn't say that, but I was really thinking, like, what are you talking about? But whatever, I think it is a banger match. I'm going to be putting in an S. Sami got his moment, got a big pop, worked really hard in that match. Gunther looked like a boss, beating the hell out of Sami. Didn't get the 3, obviously. But Sami also looked even stronger by kicking out of all those moves. Do I think the Intercontinental title will be as good now? No. But I'm hoping this reign will at least come close to Gunther's, because I don't think really anybody can match it. Next up, we're going to be looking at the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania, where we saw the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Seth freaking Rollins take on The Rock and Roman Reigns. This was a stipulation match that would determine the stipulation of the following night's main event. We all know at this point. This was a great match to build to the following night. Predictable. I easily was like 100% the Bloodline is winning. But at the same time, they had some fun little inventive spots. I don't think it was, in any way like a match of the night contender, but I'd put it somewhere between B and A. I'm going to veer more towards B because it was really easy to know that the Bloodline was winning the match, especially that they were going to pin Cody. It built up the, ooh, who knows? And I know I believed I said that Seth was going to get pinned, but in retrospect, it was Cody, and I thought about that as the match was going on. So all in all, a pretty good main event. Then, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. F. This match is not good. This is not a good match. And remember, in the case of being against other matches all time, like that Jerry Lawler-Michael Cole match, S. Is an amazing match. But it belongs there relative to just WrestleMania, because it's slow, it's just super kicks, there's nothing interesting about it, it's just going to sleep watching these two brothers who are supposed to have a blood feud and should have a stipulation bore the hell out of everybody in the arena. The best part of the match was Jey Uso's entrance. The best part was the hey, 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 because you saw the whole crowd do it. That was the best part of the match. I'm wearing Jay's colors right now, even. But, like, it was not a good match. F for the moment. Then we have the U.S. title triple threat match featuring Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. This match was okay. I don't think it was amazing, but it gave Logan a solid win. Was it kind of clean? No, it was a triple threat, so there are no disqualifications. And, we saw ISHO Speed get RKO. That was funny. Randy Orton just going, or, and absolutely destroying him. Anyways, I do think this match was a pretty solid match. I don't think it was amazing, as I've said, but I'm going to be putting it in B. It's debatable for A, as Logan did have a pretty cool spot. He did a senton roll-through frog splash, pretty dope, but nonetheless, I'm putting it at B. Next up is Bayley versus Io Sky. This match is weird to me. This match, ton of energy going into it, a ton of excitement. It's like, oh, Bayley's going to get her moment, get her moment, get her moment. And then the match happened, and after the match, I was just like, that wasn't very good. Like, there were some good spots, like Io's handstand out of the rose plant was great, and, some of the hits were really good, but it was just a match, and the crowd wasn't popping that well for it. I'm still putting it in A. It's a great moment for Bayley, but it just didn't have that oomph behind it that I really thought it should have. Next up is LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Phenomenal. This was a pretty solid match between two old heads. Not bad from everybody. AJ had a good match. LA had a great match. If you know what I mean, you'll get it. But overall, a decent showing from two. I was going to say two decent wrestlers, and I realized I was talking about AJ Styles, and that is just wrong. So, a pretty solid wrestler and a great wrestler. You can figure out for yourself who those are. Next up, we're going to the main event already. Yes, I do already have another picture of Cody on here. I accidentally put that in when I was putting all the images in. This is a custom tier list. I put these in really a random order, so I'm just going through them as I do. And now the main event of night 2 is next. Wow. You've all seen it, but I'm going to summarize this match as best I can. Cody comes out. Roman comes out. They roll. Roman takes advantage. Cody takes advantage. Tries to hit 3 crossroads. Nope. Chase out. Chase out. Zero off the entrance. Cody runs right again. Cody tries to 3 crossroads. Hits 1. Hits 2. Soul stops. Strike here. Cody takes. Soul goes second. Cena comes out. Stops. A through the A Roman. Rock comes out. Stops Cena. Rock on the Cena. Rock runs Cody. Undertaker. Just on. No more Undertaker. Or Rock. Everybody's on. Just Cody. They're all a little more. Cody saves everything. 3 crossroads. 3 hands to that. 1, 2, 3. Cody wins the title. Hooray! Really good match. I know I just summarized it pretty quick for you there. But still, tear, man. I am coughing with how much excitement I have. I also have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm sorry for that. But overall, again, incredible match. It may be a little bit overbooked and silly. Why was Undertaker there? He had no point in the story. Whatever. Have fun with your wrestling. You know what? I'm just PSA to everybody who watches wrestling. If you are not having fun watching wrestling, reevaluate how you're watching wrestling. Because I'll be seeing people who are like, wrestling is so bad nowadays. Wrestling it doesn't have any story anymore. Boo. Just be entertained. Like, this is fun. You get to see legends. You get to see cool moves. The crowd is popping. Just have some fun. Don't just complain about everything. Just enjoy it for what it is. Anyways, amazing match. Next up is the 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles. And I think this was a pretty good match. We got to see Awesome Truth win. We got to see A-Town Down Under win. Really good overall. One of the better matches of the night, and I'm going to be putting it in A tier, the very tippy top of A tier. There's no real listing in the order of these. Like, I'm not saying Sammy is better than the Cody match. It really isn't. It's just who is up there at some point. But this is a really fun match with a lot of great spots. For example, Johnny Gargano's one final beat over the rope onto the tables on the outside. Oh, this man should have been at Wrestlemania years ago. Shocked he was not. 2 more matches to go. 2 more matches to go. We're starting with Rey Mysterio and Andrade taking on Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar, as Carlito once said. This match is a match. It was fit for SmackDown. It was on WrestleMania. Cool. This blood feud ended in meh. Like, the Eagles were there. Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson were there. That's pretty cool. But meh. Nothing amazing. I'm putting it in C. I don't think it was that good. So, meh. That's really all I can say about it. It's not that interesting. It's just spot, sponsored. Walking Wild flying over everything. Spot, luchadors in that big 1, 2, 3 match. So, blam. Finally, the last match we're going to be looking at is Rhea Ripley retaining the women's world title over Becky Lynch. This was the opening match of WrestleMania and the closing match of this video. But it was a great way to kickstart the show. Rhea was introduced by Motionless in White, which is the band that produces I'll Eat, Sleep, Bleed, Demons in Your Dreams. I'll Eat, Sleep, Look at my guys, do we die. Oi, laddie. Anyways, a pretty baller match. Rhea had some great spots. The best one by far is Rhea has Becky on her shoulders, kind of in a piggyback but slid up onto the shoulders position. Does a front flip outside the ring, keeps Becky on her, and falls back. Perfection all around. A really good match. I'm actually putting this in S tier. I really enjoyed this as the opening match of the show. I don't think it's as good as Cody or Sammy's match, but I think it is better than all of these matches down below it. So that's my ranking. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? No matter what, leave it down in the comments below. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Make sure to watch any former or future episodes of my channel, and goodbye.